Hi all, today we shall discuss about water pollution. So let's see what is water pollution. I hope you all may be knowing, students. In our day-to-day life we are coming across the ill effects of water pollution. So what is water pollution? So water pollution is basically defined as the addition of harmful or objectionable material causing an alteration to water quantity. That means any kind of addition that can be any mud, dust, or the plastics which we dump in the river, or the sewage waste, or the industrial waste, all getting deposited in the rivers or lakes. So these kinds of deposits naturally alter the quality of water which we use, and it can cause many ill effects to both the ecosystem, that is humans, animals, etc. So let's see how this water pollution occur. We all have been seeing these kinds of cases and discussions in the television channels and newspapers. So some of the basic reasons are discharges from the sewage, industrial and domestic areas, construction and deep mining, release of gases and aerosols in the atmosphere. This is a figure which shows that significance. Emission of sulfur dioxide, then clouds will naturally have sulfuric acid content, and it is getting transformed into acid rain, and it harms our aquatic life. Then you might have come across the oil spills in newspapers, which can affect the um, aquatic life. Then overgrazing, poor agricultural land management, removal of riparian vegetation, mismanagement of our resources. These are some of the ways in which we aid the water pollution. Now let's see what are the causes of water pollution. There are many causes. First, and I think you may not be familiar with this term, eutrophication. Eutrophication or dystrophication or hypertrophication is when a body of water becomes overly enriched with minerals, nutrients, which induce excessive growth of algae. You might have seen this algae growth in our rivers and lakes, etc. So this is mainly because of the eutrophication process. That is, if in the farmland, in the agriculture sector, we will be using lots of fertilizers, which consist of phosphate, nitrate content, or the detergents which we use. Thereby, the sewage system also carry these kinds of uh, nutrients or minerals, which thus these nutrients, when run off and get discharged in the lake or river, these will affect the aquatic system. That means there can be a chance of increased growth of algae in the water, as well as it will decrease the oxygen content in the water body. So this will in turn affect our aquatic life. So this is that algae bloom picture, and this shows that the algae growth, it will limit the light radiation, it will reduce the absorption of oxygen, and it thereby it will affect the fishes in the deep of the lakes or rivers or ocean. Next, others are the pesticides, the chemicals from our industries, radio waste, plastics which we dump in our lakes or rivers, agricultural fertilizers. I think there is no need of further explanation. Obviously, you all are familiar with these. Next, we shall see the effects of water pollution. So, first and foremost, thing is agriculture, effect of water pollution on agriculture. So the waste we dump on water bodies gets accumulated on the surface water and the groundwater, which will contaminate the crops and cause diseases to consumers and farm workers. So these depositions of these chemicals in the soil can also decrease the soil fertility also. So this is the one way of effect of water pollution. Next is domestic effects. That means toxic substances such as lead, mercury, cadmium, and chromium or cyanide, which may affect the use of receiving water for domestic use or for aquatic life. Next is environment or ecosystem effect of water pollution. Obviously, we are very much familiar with the pungent smell, discolorization, increased temperature, contamination, and it will in turn change the pH value of the water body. Decreased oxygen, detergents that create a mass of white foam in the river waters, enrichment of groundwater with salt, nutrients from irrigated lands. Nowadays we used to test water, and we can see that even the quality of water in the well is also being decreased because of the deposition of iron or phosphorus, especially when you are near to the industrial area. You're not able to use the water from the wells because these water may contain such kinds of minerals or chemicals. So thus it is affecting our day-to-day life also. We can't even use the water from the well. So eutrophication, the other problem is eutrophication or algae blooms affect the recreational activities. Water treatment plants or water providers, all these aid, and loss of aesthetic value. Also these algae clogs our waterways. So next is the effect of water pollution in our economy. It leads to economic losses in the terms of reduced health. We know that health is wealth. So whenever we are not that much active, or these pollution affects our health, naturally the productivity gets affected. So both in the industrial as well as in the agricultural sector, productivity decreases, and also it will affect the tourism, so low quality tourism. So these are some of the effects of water pollution on economy. Next is effect on animal health. See, there are n number of things to be discussed under effect on animal health. Increases large scale of death of aquatic and terrestrial animals, reduces reproduction rate, increases disease incidences, imbalances creates in secondary food chains. Obviously our food chain gets affected. Accumulation of bioaccumulative and bio non-degradable pollutants in animal bodies. Then it affects the marine animals by the deposition of heavy metals from the industrial process into the water bodies like rivers and lakes, will affect our marine life. Then arsenic polluted water leads to accumulation of arsenic in the body parts like blood, nails and hairs, causing skin lesions, rough skin, dry and thickening of skin, and ultimately skin cancer. Then another is eutrophication, which we have already discussed. Chlorine is used in many swimming pools to keep them clean. So there are certain substances which may have the same content which we use in detergents, and these mix up with chlorine, which can produce adverse effect on human health, such as skin and throat irritations. So there are so much of ill effects caused by the water pollution on human health also. So next, these are some of the points being discussed. Thank you.